The American tree has a lot of premium tier 8 heavies. You have the T-34, Shark, T-77, Scepter, E-5, M6 Experimental, Chrysler K, and then this, the M-IV-Yoh. I would say, out of all the tier 8s in the game, this is by far one of the most unique, which is one of the reasons why I'm always gravitating towards it. There are very few autoloaders that, in my opinion, are balanced as well as this one. You see, the way this tank works is it's got a very quick overall clip reload. If you compare the clip reload on this vehicle of only 13.58 seconds to, let's say, the clip reload of a Scepter, which also features an autoloader, this tank sits at a 21-second magazine reload. So you might be asking, well, how does this tank have 4 shells, but yet such a faster clip reload? Well, that is because the intra-clip, or the time it takes in between shells to shoot, is just shy of 7 seconds. That basically makes this a slightly faster single-shot autoloader. Now, a lot of people look at this tank and they're like, well, it's pretty bad. Why would I drive this vehicle when I can just drive a single-shot tank? So let's say, for example, you get a vehicle like a Chrysler K, which has very similar DPM, and we max out this tank on its food so that it has the maximum DPM. We put on gun rammer, so you're going to be looking at around 2,145 DPM with an 8.67 second reload. And as we just said, the M-IV-Yoh features a 6.98 second reload. So if you're fighting a vehicle like a Chrysler K or a Tiger II or the majority of 310 damage per shot vehicles, you are always going to get the second shell out before they are able to reload. And that is a really good capability. It means that you always have the benefit of the shot. And not only that, but it only takes you 13.5 seconds to reload your clip. So let's say you shoot somebody 3 times, and then you decide, I'm going to back up and start reloading. By the time they've realized you might have started reloading your clip, you are already halfway through, or you might already be done, and you have 4 more shells ready to shoot into your opponent. I actually really like the Yoh because of that. I think that this tank is super dangerous. I think that if you understand how to use it properly, it can easily become one of the most dangerous tier 8s in the battlefield. And rather unsurprisingly, it's actually a very good performer overall in the majority of tier 8s. It's got really good pen, sitting at 280 mils of premium APCR. That is enough to cut through basically anything in front of you. And its aiming time, while not great, is good enough to get the job done in most cases. My favorite part about this vehicle is the turret armor as well. The turret is about 300 mils on the front, and while it does have that hatch, it is a very hard vehicle to penetrate while using its gun depression if you do miss that weak spot. So because of that, the Yoh is actually a super diabolical tank to go up against. And if you don't believe me, well, I'm going to show you what happens when you pair 2 of these tanks together. See, the other day I was doing a live stream, and my friend Fallen, who is my moderator, said, hey, you want me to join you? And as usual, I always say, hell yeah! It's always nice to have a teammate when doing a live stream. So, Fallen is also using the M-IV-Yoh. And I was like, okay, well, if we stick together, there's literally nothing that can push us. We have 8 shells combined, which is a total of 2,400 clipping potential. And judging that the most health you'll get in a tier 8 matchup is 1,900 to 2,000, we can literally full clip together any tier 8 tank, which is kind of insane when you think about it. So, starting off this battle, I'm going to make my way to the mid-ramp. And not much is being seen. We do have an IS-5, and I'm aiming on the side. There you go. We do get a pen out. However, look at where the IS-5 manages to pen my vehicle. What the absolute heck is that? Yeah, that is just really, really bad luck. I don't even know if the roof of this vehicle has a weak spot. I think we just got really unlucky, and the IS-5 was literally able to just go through our roof, weirdly enough. But it's okay. We're up to 600 damage dealt already, which is a pretty solid result, and we can see where that very good premium pen comes into play, and the ability to cut through our opponent's armor with no issue whatsoever. We finish off the silencer, and just like that, we have dealt an entire clip's worth of damage, 1,129. Look at how fast this vehicle's clip reload is. We are already fully loaded again, which is kind of insane. I bled a bit of health there unintentionally. I was looking at my teammate, or Fallen, to show him something where that IS-5 shot me, and in the process of doing that, I got shot again. So that was on my fault, but it's not the biggest deal ever. We still have plenty of health. This was a full health Tiger II just a moment ago. He has 42 health now. What the absolute heck is this vehicle? The clipping potential with this thing paired is crazy. I'm already up to 2,400 damage. Now, there's a T-43 on my rear, and I weighed the options, and I was like, yeah, I might as well just push the VK-100. This is a slow tank, it's very easy to catch, and I can just get some super easy shells into his vehicle, especially when you realize the VK has turned and shot somebody else. So, we've already taken 600 health off this vehicle in help of my 2-mate. That's another 600 health. It's just crazy. Basically, every 7 seconds, I'm dealing 600 damage if you pair my 2-mate together. I'm already up to 3,000 damage. I have 1 shell left, and I'm going to aim that in perfectly on the IS-5's lower plate. Okay, and we already start reloading. You essentially have a constant supply of shells when you're using this tank. You just keep shooting. It's crazy. It really is. So in 2 more seconds, there we go. We got our first shell out, and we're up to 3,500 damage already. At this point, I'm going to ignore the T-43 because I want to get some damage out. So we get a nice HE into the rear of the SU-30PM, and then I say, okay, well, my 2-mate's going to shoot the T-43. I might as well shoot him as well. So we get a nice shot into him again, and at this point, I'm like, yeah, the SU's probably a bit of a bigger threat, so let me finish off the SU, and there you have it. 4,400 damage dealt. I got 4 kills. My 2-mate got 3 kills. That means we got all 7 kills in the battle. And I mean, that was an absolute steamroll. We just YOLO'd, and nothing was able to counter us. That was an ace. We made a crap ton of credits because this vehicle has a fantastic credit coefficient, so 223,000 earned. He did pretty good as well at 2,800 damage, so if you combine our damages together, that's, what, 7,000 damage? I mean, absolutely insane. This is why the M-IV-Yoh is just such a beast on the battlefield, and the major reason why I personally believe it's just crazy good. As always, I like to do 2 helpings of gameplay on any video I make. So I only had 1 replay. We're going to do a live battle of the M-IV-Yoh and see how it performs. Now, this is one of those vehicles that when it was actually first released, I didn't think it was very good. I thought it was pretty mediocre, but there wasn't much of a reason to play it when you had takes like the Tiger II. But the more I have used it, and the less you see it on the battlefield, the less people know about it. That's the best part, is that a lot of newer players, you know, even after posting this video, there's a very large portion of players that do not watch World of Tanks Blitz content for the most part. And they just don't know about the clipping potential of this vehicle. They say, oh, it shot me. I'm going to poke it now. And then they shoot you back. And then, usually, by the time they've done that, you already have another shell ready, and you can shoot them again. And because of that, it's just a great take for punishing people. And then they think, oh, he's probably a single shot because he shot me on this reload or whatever. So they just don't expect you to have a clip. It's a very confusing vehicle for players that don't know what you're doing. I absolutely love tanks that confuse the crap out of people. It's kind of like when you're in a 268 version 4 up against players that are new to the game and they're like, where do I shoot it? I don't know where its weak spots are. Some other nice things about the Yoh you'll notice is it's fairly mobile. It has a very good power to weight, so even uphill, you're going to be pretty good on your overall top speed. It's one thing that I like. It's got gun depression, as we can see, which makes it flexible on any ridgeline. So, for the most part, it's a fairly flexible tank. It's quite enjoyable to drive. The only thing that I think is kind of funky is its look. It's not as bad as like the M5 or M6-Yoh in terms of appearance, but it's definitely a wonky vehicle in its overall design. Now, the Lycan is able to shoot us. I can't really say much against the tank. We were just in a not-so-great position where the Lycan was able to hit us right in the hull. Thankfully, we're going to move up here just a little bit. I was really hoping we could get that Yoh shot, but it's not the biggest deal ever. Man, my sensitivity is way messed up right now. Did you see how bad it was there? Oh, man. It's not the biggest issue ever, though. We're going to aim it on the Lycan right now. He's showing me his engine deck. We're not able to HE his engine, but that's not the biggest problem ever. In 2 more seconds, we'll have another shell ready for his tank. There you go. Some awful rolls coming from us, but still getting pens out, which is obviously the most important thing. There you go. Another nice shot into the Lycan. Interestingly enough, we fired a gold shell there, and we did more damage than our AP did. Alright, so we got the KV-4 right in front. We obviously have plenty of gun depression against his vehicle, and we already have our clip reloaded. So we get a 327 damage shell out. And because he just shot, and because we have this auto-reloading gun, we're able to just slam another shell straight through his vehicle. So just like that, we've already cleared the KV-4. Now we're back on our reload. In 10 seconds, we'll have more shells ready to go. Is that Lycan dead? No, he is not. Well, we see the Borsig on the hill. And actually what I'm going to try and do right now is just drive up and bonk. There you go. Easy shot into the enemy Borsig. A weird thing about this tank is that on paper it has a pretty poor accuracy value. But for some reason, it actually seems to hit the majority of its shots you shoot. Great example there. If you're wondering how we actually penned the Lycan, that is down to the fact that this gun actually features very, very good penetration, as we went over, so you can cut through armor, no issues whatsoever. At this point, it's already a win. We got some good damage out, over 2,000. We were able to easily deal with the flank, and the Dracula is dead. So, yeah, I just think the Yoh is a fantastic vehicle. I poorly misjudged it in my first ever review on the tank. I don't even think it was a review, I think it was my live stream. I just didn't like the tank that much, but over time I've actually grown to really like it. 56,000 credits, pretty solid result overall, and yeah, it's just a great tank. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, if you agree, if you disagree, but I actually really like it. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.